Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're tuning in, it probably means you're about to kick off a brand new adventure, the Mather Beginning Orchestra. I am so pumped to have you here. Today, we're going to dive right into exactly what you can expect from this brand new class. We'll shake off those first day jitters, map out the road ahead, and talk about how you're literally going to transform into a performing musician. So, settle in, get ready to take some mental notes, and let's get this musical journey started.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First up, welcome to the orchestra. Then, your instruments and skills. Third, credits and required concerts. Fourth, how to get an A. And finally, accommodations and missing class.
So, part one, welcome to the orchestra, getting started. Look, whether you specifically chose orchestra or maybe you were randomly programmed into it by your counselor, you are in for a totally unique experience. Think about your regular high school classes, right? Math, history, science. You spend a lot of time just sitting at a desk while teachers talk at you. But here, no way. We don't even have desks. You come into this room to actually do something, making music together as a collective group every single day. It's honestly a much-needed active break right in the middle of your school day.
Moving right along to part two, your instruments and skills, or as I like to call it, the hero's journey.
This journey really starts the second you pick up your instrument. You're going to learn how to play one of four incredible string instruments: the violin, the viola, the cello, or the bass. And hey, let me reassure you right out of the gate. It's 100% expected that you are starting from the very beginning. Seriously, zero prior experiences needed. Now, if you have played an instrument before, maybe back in grade school, fantastic, you're already ahead of the game. But if not, don't sweat it at all.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but what if I just don't like these stringed instruments? It's a super valid question. The only thing we ask is that you just give it an honest try in class. You don't have to instantly love it on day one. But, if you really give it a shot and strongly feel it's just not your thing, you're not trapped. You can always go visit your counselor and see about switching into band, guitar, choir, dance, drama, or art.
But let's assume you stick with it, which I highly recommend you do, because you are going to master an impressive arsenal of skills. It's way more than just holding an instrument. You're going to learn how to read music, find notes, and play rhythms. You'll pick up a whole new vocabulary of musical terms. Plus, you're learning how to play in a group and follow a conductor, which builds up to the thrill of actually performing on stage. We'll even practice describing music on paper. It's basically the whole shebang when it comes to musical education. All right, let's jump into part three, credits and required concerts, the requirements. So, time to talk about the practical stuff, the numbers. You might be wondering, do I actually need orchestra? Well, to be totally honest, you don't necessarily need orchestra specifically, but you absolutely, without a doubt, need credits to graduate. And that brings us to a very important number, 24. That is the total number of CPS credits you need to graduate. 24. Every single class you pass gets you one step closer to that magic number. And passing this class gets you one of those vital credits, all while you're actually up and doing something fun. Zooming in a bit more, we hit the number 2, as in the 2 years of fine arts credits you require to have. Now, listen closely here, because this is a trap people fall into. Please don't just assume that because you took an art class a couple of years ago, you don't need to pass this one. You very well might need this specific credit to hit your graduation goals. When in doubt, definitely check with your counselor to see exactly where you stand. Okay, grab your phones and mark your calendars right now. Tuesday, December 15th and Wednesday, April 28th, both at 6 p.m. What's really crucial to understand here is that these are mandatory performances for your grade. So if you've got an after-school job or you're on a sports team, you need to tell your boss or your coach, like today, that you have to be at Mather on those 2 evenings. Oh, and you'll also have the chance to perform at Fine Arts Fest and graduation, but the awesome news there is that those are actually for extra credit.
Which leads us perfectly into part 4, how to get an A, your path to success.
I know this is the part you've all been waiting for, right? How do you actually get a good grade in a class with no desks where everyone's just making noise together? Let's start with the golden question that every single high school student is thinking right now. Is there homework? The answer is a glorious 0. Yep, 0. There is absolutely no outside of class homework. When you go home, your time is completely your own. The literally only exception, which we just talked about, is showing up to those 2 required evening concerts. Aside from that, everything you need to do to crush this class happens right inside the 4 walls of the classroom. So here is your crystal clear 4-step roadmap to an A. Step 1, come to rehearsal every day. You're learning a physical skill, so consistency is key. Step 2, keep your phone in the phone carrier. We really need your undivided attention to make this work. Step 3, put in the effort to learn your instrument. Take your playing tests and keep your notebook and folder organized. And step 4, participate in our concerts. Honestly, if you just put in that daily effort, getting an A is an absolute lock.
Finally, we're at part 5, accommodations and missing class. We've got you covered.
Look, high school is complicated and life happens, but this is a deeply supportive classroom. There's a question straight from the syllabus that perfectly captures Mr. Smith's teaching style. Can you play rhythms without music during Ramadan? This just shows how empathetic the approach is here. If you can't play music for personal or religious reasons, just have a quick chat with him. Your traditions are totally respected here, and accommodations will absolutely be made.
And what happens if you're just sick and miss a day? Since there aren't any traditional worksheets, making up work is super easy. Just copy the notes from a classmate's notebook for the day you missed. And hey, if you ever feel like you want a better grade, just go directly to Mr. Smith and show him you've improved. Play something for him. Show him your technique is getting better. Your effort and your progress are what actually matter.
All right, we've covered the syllabus. We've talked instruments. You know exactly how to score an A, and you've got those mandatory concert dates locked in. So, what does this all mean? It means the only question left to answer is, are you ready to make music together? Seriously, it's going to be an amazing year of creativity and teamwork. Embrace it. Enjoy the fact that you don't have to sit at a desk, and get ready to unlock a totally new side of yourself. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I hope you have an absolutely incredible time in beginning orchestra.